Namo Buddhaya. Welcome and welcome back to another video. Couple of weeks ago, we posted this video right here about self-love. Let's take a look at it first. Remember, the more you love yourself, the more selfless you become. Do not confuse self-love with selfishness. Namo Buddhaya. So, a lot of you have been asking in the comment section, what is the difference between self-love and selfishness? So from today's video, we're going to be discussing about how to differentiate the self-love from selfishness. Now, to understand about this, first we need to understand what is selfishness. Now, selfishness always born from the unsatisfied nature of our mind. That means we are not satisfied with ourselves and we are not satisfied with other people. So what happens? We try to fill this unsatisfaction, fill this gap in our mind to satisfy ourselves. So what we do? We make expectations towards ourselves and towards others. And when the people around us and even ourselves are not meeting these expectations of even ourselves, what happens to us? We try to pursue and we try to chase behind these expectations and filling these expectations even more and more. And these things, these chasings go beyond the limits. So what happens? A person becomes more selfish, only thinking about his own happiness, his own pleasure, and his own advantage. He doesn't start to think about the other people's happiness. So this is selfishness. So we need to understand that selfishness is always born from unsatisfied nature of our mind. But in the other hand, self-love is always born from compassion, understanding, and acceptance. Now, when you understand who you are, and when you accept who you are, then you become more compassionate towards yourself. Then you know who you are and what you can do. Starting from that, you start to develop yourself more and more. You give a good time to heal, you give a good time to develop your inner qualities, and you become more patient toward yourself. And also, when you develop the patience, you become more patient towards other people. You all know that not every person around you can live up to 100% expectations of yourself. So we need to understand that. When you understand this, the nature of yourself and the nature of other people, then you become more compassionate. And then you become more selfless. You become more generous because you know how it feels like to go through sufferings. You also know how it feels like to go through painful periods in time. So when you do that, when you develop that patience and compassion, you become more self-loving person. Okay, so that is why we need to understand that self-love is always born from compassion, understanding, and acceptance. We don't deny who we are. We don't try to reject who we are. We become more understanding and more accepting towards ourselves. When we become more accepting towards ourselves, we become more content with who we are and become happy with who we are. And one of the greatest qualities that we develop through this is the gratitude. We become thankful for what we have in our life. We don't say that, oh, everyone needs to fulfill my expectations and I'm not going to commit anything for you. You need to fulfill all of my expectations. Those emotions won't happen when you become more self-loving person. So understand the difference between the self-love and selfishness. The Buddha said, if you love yourself, you have to guard your mind from evil things, evil thoughts like jealousy, hatred, aversion, and envy. When you guard your mind from these unwholesome thoughts, you protect yourself. And that is self-love. When you protect yourself, you protect others as well. So keep this little beautiful advice from the Buddha in your mind and be happy. Namo Buddhaya.